and welcome to Delta College Impact. I'm Roger Waller, your host for today's program. And on today's show, we're talking about the American Heart Association's Heart Walk 2001. It's going to be held right here on the Delta College campus. And to talk about Heart Walk 2001, I have two special guests. On my immediate left is Kelly Huber, who was Volunteer of the Year for the local American Heart Association last year. And to Kelly's left is Leslie Snyder, who is current president of the local American Heart Association. So welcome to Impact. And Kelly, let me begin with you. And congratulations on your award. And we might talk a little bit about Heart Walk and some of the things that you volunteered to do last year and how much fun people have.
First of all, we have a ball, and that's what keeps bringing people back. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of work that goes into it, but the work itself is fun as well.
And I know one of the key things we should say is that as a volunteer, that means you really have a real job somewhere out there in addition to the Heart Walk activities. And who do you work for, and how do they help to support the Heart Association?
I am the business development representative for Schools Credit Union, and we're a local credit union, and we all get involved, we all participate. We have the team t-shirts, and we raise money in the credit union. We sell hearts, which any business can do. And last year we implemented a raffle a month, and we created a basket, and we sold raffle tickets, and at the end of the month we raffled that basket off.
And I know I was really impressed last year with your team. And how many people participated in the Heart Walk last year?
We had approximately 35 people just for our team.
And that's a lot of fun for the team. And I know, Leslie, you're thrilled because as president, this is sort of one of your activities is to get everybody involved in this. And in addition to being a president of the local Heart Association, we might talk a little bit about your employer and the support they provide.
I work for Anheuser-Busch in San Joaquin County, and I do marketing and special events. So when I started in 1994, this was my first step into a big community project, and I've been with it ever since. It's just growing and getting bigger and better every year. And
I know that Budweiser is a big supporter because you have your your Budweiser people who are down here walking in addition to Leslie's and in addition to yourself. Mm-hmm. Who else comes from Budweiser to help out?
Well, I get my Team Bud to come out, and that team is always headed up by my Bud girls. It seems like they have this extra special way of getting people to join the team. I'm not sure, but they go out and have a good time, and they recruit their spouses, boyfriends. A couple of them bring their dogs and their kids, and it's just a good time for the whole group.
And I think that's a great point because at the end of this segment, you're going to see the special promotional video for Heart Walk 2001 that was put together by the marketing class here at Delta College. I've put a little plug in here for Delta because Heart Walk 2001 is done here at Delta College. And if you want more information about it, you can go to heartsource.org and get some more information about heart and stroke information because that's really what it's all about. Is not only is having fun, but how's the money used here in the county?
Several different ways. There's education provided to the schools, research, just
and so it's invested here locally, which I know, Leslie, is very good for you because you like seeing a lot of the money staying here at home.
We do.
And how much money was raised last year?
Last year, our goal was to raise $100,000, and we came out at $120,000.
Which is fantastic, because this is going to be the ninth year of the Heart Walk, and before the $120,000, what was the previous record?
We had $80,000 the prior year.
And I know that one of the things we're very proud of is that being here on the Delta College campus. You might talk a little bit about what people might expect on the day of the Heart Walk.
A lot of fun. In the morning, we start off and we have water and registration. We have team photos, and we take off and we walk approximately 4 miles up Pacific Avenue and back. And we get back and we provide lunch and entertainment. Sometimes we have Polynesian dancers, which they've been here for 3 years now, I believe. And they'll be back again this year. And we have had line dancers in the past, and so there's a lot of fun going on.
And one of the things I know we have a lot of Heart Walkers, about how many people participate actually doing the walking?
I think we had about 1,000 for Heart Walk 2000. The year before we had about 800. So like I said, every year it gets bigger and better. We have more teams joining. All the teams really get into it, like Kelly's team. They have team t-shirts, team names for their groups, and it's just a lot of fun.
And I know one of the great things is that we're going to see on the video some people who are wearing red caps. We might talk a little bit about the red cap people who are in the Heart Walk. And let's see, I'll ask Leslie, who are the red cap people and what's the red cap mean?
Red cap people are special people who come out, like yourself, who have had some association with heart disease or stroke and are there to walk that day and show them that, you know, things can be taken care of and that you can do the Heart Walk, and you're still in good shape.
And I have to say, for me personally, it was a very interesting experience because I got involved with the Heart Walk several years ago, and I was out walking and seeing the people with the red cap, and which was very interesting. And then about a year ago, I had a heart attack myself, and so I actually earned my my red cap last year. And so for me, the Heart Association and the Heart Walk is really an important part of that education process, which really starts to pay off. And I know, how do you start to get teams involved? And I know, Kelly, that you're able to assemble your 35 people, and how's somebody going to get that team going at their workplace?
Enthusiasm. Somebody needs to take charge and know that it goes to a good cause. Have fun with it, make it an internal competition, and there's so many ways to have fun, and you can raise money and you can have a good time, and it's good for team building as well in the office and outside of the office.
And I guess that's one of the things that was really a lot of fun to see, was all the people having fun out there. And Leslie, I think you ought to put a plug in for your boss. Now, the local Heart Association actually has a main coordinator who really helps to pull this all together for the entire year.
You're right, Roger, and we couldn't do it without Todd Davis, our executive director for our San Joaquin County Heart Association. And like Kelly said, there's a lot of enthusiasm, but Todd's there to support us if we need things for the teams, you know, little goodies, little incentives, and he's always right there for us.
And I know that that's really important because you had approximately how many different organizations and company teams last year?
Oh my gosh.
I think about 70 to 80 teams.
Yeah, so with 70 to 80 teams, that's a lot of people working to put the Heart Walk together. And I know it's not only company teams, but individuals can get that team together, because I saw a lot of families out walking, and I guess that we should really make people aware of it, that it doesn't always have to be a company that's involved.
No, heart disease affects families on a personal note, and children are a big part of that family. And we do have some teams that are families of children who have had surgeries or have had problems, and they're out there, and they're the reason we all keep going.
And I think that that's the important thing, is to get everybody involved. And just to give you an idea, we're going to show you a premiere, just like the Academy Awards. We're going to show you a premiere of the 2001 Heart Walk promotional video. So stay tuned and watch the promotional video.
Come on, give it up.
Our bank is a sponsor of this year's affair, and we, all of us at the bank, strongly believe in what the American Heart Association is doing for the betterment of those people who have heart ailments throughout the entire United States. We're very pleased to have the turnout that we have today, and we really hope that through this Heart Walk today, we'll raise somewhere near $100,000 for the American Heart Association.
Since I had the cardiac arrest 4.5 years ago, and my dad had one back in '78 and died from that too, just kind of continuing. There's a lot of need for it, so just helping out.
Walk all the way to the end of the line. Take it only of you, bum, bum, bum. You are in another city, just about to go insane. Bum, bum, bum. Seems like you hurt my baby the way she used to call my name. If she ever comes back to stay.
Chili's likes to do the Heart Walk, and among other community involvement things, just because it's good community involvement. We enjoy helping the community. We enjoy the camaraderie out front, talking to the people out doing the walk. We do a couple other charity events throughout the year, and it's just something we thoroughly enjoy doing.
Why do you have the red cap?
I have a red cap because I was born with a heart defect, atrial septal defect, which was corrected early in life, luckily, and I'm doing fine.
You're doing great, and I think one of the questions is, what brought you out to the Heart Walk today?
Well, I'm here to support Stockton Cardiology. My friend Jessica McGee is the team captain, so I'm doing my part for them.
And I know this isn't your first year. You've been to the Heart Walk before. What do you enjoy about it most?
I like it. I was amazed at the number of people that showed up, and it's just wonderful.
Thanks to you, we raised over $120,000. Please join us for Heart Walk 2001. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video because my class enjoyed putting it together. And it looks like a lot of fun, and it is a lot of fun. And I know, Leslie, you have a couple of special people involved in coordinating it again this year.
We do, Roger. We have our regular committee, and I'm glad everyone's coming back this year, but we're fortunate enough again to have Joe Crane tag teaming with Bob Cavanaugh this year to kind of head us up for 2001.
And I know, Kelly, we better mention the date so people can start to mark this down. What's the date of Heart Walk 2001?
The date of the walk is September the 29th. That's a Saturday. We start early, and we're done by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at the latest. And so if you have other projects, other things going on, you can still make it. You can still have fun in the morning and help us all out.
And I think the fun thing is now you're probably sitting there saying, how can I get involved? Well, let's give you some information. Here's the local information for you to contact the American Heart Association. You can call them at 477-2683, or you can stop by and see Todd Davis and his staff at 1212 West Robin Hood Drive, Suite 5D here in Stockton. Or you can look at the local web address for the Western States American Heart Association at www.heartsource.org. And that should give you a lot of information about Heart Walk 2001. And I want to thank our special guests, Kelly Huber and Leslie Snyder, for joining me on the first half of the show. And on the second half, we're going to be joined by Carol Thomas and learn about healthy heart habits. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these brief public service messages. Hello and welcome back to Delta College Impact. I'm Roger Waller, your host for today's program. And on the first half of the show, we talked about the American Heart Association's Heart Walk 2001 that's going to be happening here on the Delta College campus on September 29th. Now, on the second half of the show, we're going to learn about some healthy heart habits. And joining me is Carol Thomas, and Carol is an instructor in our Family, Consumer, and Health Sciences Department. Carol, welcome back to Impact. And I know I call it healthy heart habits, and you may call it healthy habits. Now, what do we mean by that?
Well, what we're talking about is the idea that people need to know what they should be eating, sometimes what they shouldn't be eating. They need to know a little bit about their lifestyle and how they can alter their lifestyle so that they are going to be doing things that are going to be encouraging healthy habits.
That's right.
Yes.
And I know in your classes here at Delta, you talk about this, and you might give our audience some idea of some of the courses they might want to take to learn about some of these habits.
There are two nutrition classes. One is called FCS 6, the other one is called FCS 5, and both of those talk about the issues of nutrition and how it applies to, every aspect of their life, because what you do every day is eat. And so consequently, you need to know all of these particular foods and how they impact your life. And sometimes they learn things they don't want to know about what's good and what's bad, but for the most part there's that class. Then there's also another class called Life Management that sort of gives them a total overview of everything.
And I know one of the things is that you have also been personally involved with the American Heart Association here in Stockton. You might talk a little bit about that.
My involvement with the Heart Association has been for about 10 years now, and what I've done with the Heart Association is I do a lot of community education so that I'm going to various groups and giving them more information, because a lot of people don't like to come to the campus. They want somebody to come to their group and talk, and so then I take the little props out with me and I talk about what they should and should not be doing and what they should and should not be eating. And again, it's this whole idea that people really want this information because it really does impact their life on a daily basis.
And I have to say, you don't really think about it, but I mentioned on the first half of the program that I had a heart attack, and one of the things is it suddenly gets your attention.
Yes.
And we start talking about some of the different things like what I should be eating and sort of lifestyle changes. Right. And what's sitting on our table here is something that really gets my attention. And I know we're talking about this little yellow glob of stuff. And what is that?
That is a model of 5 pounds of body fat, and that's exactly what body fat looks like. Some people refer to their body fat as cellulite. Actually, there is no such thing as cellulite. It's the body fat. And you can kind of squeeze little areas of your body, and that stuff will bubble up underneath the surface of your skin. It's very attractive.
And that's the stuff that bubbles up.
That's the stuff that bubbles up, yes.
And so even though cellulite might sound better.
Yeah, and you can't rub that off. You have to change your lifestyle a little bit to get rid of that. There's no way you can take creams or pills or anything to rub it off. It won't go away.
Yeah. Now, how does that impact my healthy heart?
Well, what you need to understand is there are different types of fat in your diet, and people are always worried about cholesterol and their cholesterol level. And actually, it's not so much the cholesterol in your diet as the saturated fat content of your diet, and then there's different kinds of fat that people need to know about. And then we are a society that tends to eat a lot of fat. What you really need to know more about is all of the good foods that you should be eating, like the fruits and the vegetables that really are the ones that are important in the diet.
And I know that's really one of the things when you start to think about it is you're sort of telling us what we should be doing. I know a lot of times people say, oh, you shouldn't be eating that, you shouldn't be eating this. Well, you're going to really actually show us some of the foods that we should be eating or talk about those. And also to alert us about maybe why some of those other ones might not be our best choices.
And the truth is, and I tell all my students this, there's actually no food that you can't eat. It's what is called moderation.
Oh, I like your class already. I mean, this is great to hear.
Yeah.
And I know on the first half we had Leslie Snyder, who was working with Budweiser.
Yes.
And one of the fun things is that we can also talk a little bit about some of those things that maybe we can drink that could be beneficial. I know wine has been in the news lately.
Wine has been in the news lately. Now, the problem with this is you need to understand that when they talk about red wine as being good for your heart and lowering your cholesterol level, what they're talking about is 4 ounces a day.
Can I combine a week?
No, cannot do that. No. 4 ounces, and for those, this comes back to serving sizes too, and people don't realize, well, a glass of wine. Well, it depends upon the size of your glass sometimes as to what a glass of wine is. But 4 ounces is equal to a half a cup. And then there is new information today for people who don't want to consume alcoholic beverages that you can drink red grape juice and get the same benefits. Or if you don't want to drink the juice, you can eat the red grapes.
Oh.
Some people don't want to hear that information, though, because they would prefer to look at the wine as the issue. And then sometimes you're looking at reports that say a small amount of any alcoholic beverage is beneficial.
Mm-hmm. And that sounds, well, it sounds, at least gives us the opportunity, and I think your point about everything in moderation really is
moderation
the key.
is the key.
And now I see some vials in front of us here, and well, we might as well talk a little bit about those, and I guess I have to learn a little bit more here.
Well, you said about the French fries.
Yes, I have skipped French fries ever since I had my heart attack. I've been very proud of that.
This is a vial that shows you the content in a small container of McDonald's French fries. Now, if you'll notice, the vial is full, and it's full of what is the equivalent to lard, so that it'll give you a real clear picture. On the other hand, if you want to go to the reduced fat potato chips, there's a little less fat. And then, of course, you have such things on here as the pizza. And the fat content of your pizza.
Watching what
the
I
pizza
put on my pizza.
And pizza, while a lot of people think of pizza as being bad, it does have a lot of nutrient content. It just also has a lot of fat. And I also tell my students that occasionally I have trouble getting people eating breakfast in the morning, so I point out to them that cold leftover pizza can actually be a very good breakfast. One piece. One piece. And then you have here, which would be the Dairy Queen soft serve, which is much less fat content. So any of the soft serve, it's kind of like where you have a little bit less of that hardened fat. That's better for you.
And I know one of the key things is that sort of moderation,
Yes.
but also of starting to balance it. And the fruits and vegetables, I know.
Yes.
Fortunately, we live here in California. We live here in the Central Valley, and so
Yes.
we've got a lot better access to some of these foods. And are all fruits and vegetables good for us?
All fruits and vegetables, some being better than others. A lot of people think that apples are really good. Apples don't have a great nutrient content, but they're an excellent source of fiber. The best fruits and vegetables, right now we're coming into the strawberry season, and that's by far some of your best nutrients come from strawberries. Raspberries being really good, one of my favorite. Any of your berries are excellent sources of what are called the phytochemicals that really help to reduce heart disease. You also are looking at broccoli and cauliflower. The industry right now is packaging these foods in a very convenient manner so that you can go and buy a salad in a bag, you can buy your vegetables in a bag, you can buy spinach in a bag. In fact, right now there's a push by the vegetable industry to have McDonald's and some of your other fast food restaurants start putting spinach leaves on their hamburgers to help increase the nutrient content that people are getting, because spinach is so good as far as nutrient content.
Oh, that's really, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of the fast food chains are trying to offer us a little bit better
Yes.
heart-healthy choices here.
Yes, because McDonald's now has the salad shaker so that you have to be careful about the dressing, but the salad's in the little container and you can buy it that way.
Now, I know one of the things that I heard about and that I'd always been aware of is that I had elevated cholesterol.
Right.
And to me, at times, it seemed like I couldn't do anything really to lower it. Now, what are sort of lifestyle changes that I have now learned, but I must have asked Carol a little bit more about it. What sort of lifestyle changes can I do to help impact my cholesterol?
When you're lowering your cholesterol, you're looking at a group of fats called monounsaturated fats, and this is where the olive oil now is considered to be beneficial, and fish, very beneficial in helping you to reduce the level of the cholesterol and the bad cholesterol specifically. Nuts are a really good source, but when we talk about nuts, we're talking about serving sizes, and a serving size of walnuts is 6 walnuts. A serving size of almonds is probably about a quarter of a cup, not quite a full quarter of a cup. So you have very small amounts that you're dealing with. Exercise is extremely important, and it's important for everyone to start exercising on a regular basis.
And I know that that's one thing we probably should talk about, because the American Heart Walk, the actual walk part,
Right.
is really one of those things that ties into that healthy heart.
Yes, absolutely.
And with exercise, should I start jogging today, or
No.
what's the plan?
Exercise is something you should enjoy doing. I point out to everyone now, I have a dog who has to be walked on a regular basis, and I mean every day. And so do something that's fun, that you enjoy, but try doing it on a regular basis. Some of the reports state right now you should take something like 10,000 steps a day, and if you're taking 10,000 steps a day, that's an adequate amount of exercise. But you also have to look at opportunities. Delta College has a wonderful opportunity. You park a long way out, you walk in, you take classes on the 4th floor, you climb the stairs. It's just being really conscious of being moving as opposed to sitting all the time.
That's right. It's that unconscious exercise
Yes.
sometimes that we do. We also have some great exercise classes here that Carol
Yes.
could have mentioned as well, in addition to walking from the parking lot or whatever, which is also kind of fun. And I guess one of the things as we talk about blending, our lifestyle changes, and which include diet and exercise.
Right.
I know medications also become an issue. And,
Yes.
but medications better these days?
The medications are getting much better. The research is improving dramatically. Sometimes what doctors will start various patients out with is they start them out with a supplement of niacin to help lower their cholesterol level. And then there's a group of wonderful medications that are being used today that are being monitored by the physicians and doing really well, I think. And I don't know exactly what Leslie said in the prior segment, but I do know that the research today in the area of heart disease, people are living longer even though they have some serious illnesses, because the doctors have the medications and the treatments to monitor this.
And I know one of the things we talk about here is certainly being involved with Delta College is education is important.
Absolutely.
And in addition to these classes, we're really talking about the monies that go into the Heart Walk of being used here locally in a lot of the educational programs. And I guess you use some of these materials in your class as far
Absolutely.
as keeping
Yeah,
everybody
the
up
American
to
Heart
date?
Association has some absolutely wonderful educational tools. And we need to start at the low levels. I mean, we need to go down to the third grade level, the second grade level, and start education at a very early age so that these habits become ingrained for the individuals, as opposed to going back and doing correction, which a lot of people spend time doing correction as opposed to forming the habits early.
And I think that that's an important point, and I liked your word. I was thinking when you said ingrained that we should eat more grains and more fruits and vegetables and these other things. And I think starting children out eating well and eating the right foods is a lot better than when I was growing up. And I love that fried chicken, but I loved all the fried stuff. And I think one of the things that we want to do in talking about education is really to give our audience an idea of where some of those first steps are that they can take to help to improve themselves. And one of them is maybe finding out about one of Carol Thomas's classes here at Delta. And that means that you might want to contact Carol here at San Joaquin Delta College. And Carol's phone number is 954-5541. Or we would encourage you to check our course schedule and look for those family, consumer, and health sciences classes that can help out. And then to continue to learn more about the American Heart Association, we again encourage you to get ready and mark September 29th on your calendar. And you can call the Heart Association for some information. And that's going to get you ready for Heart Walk 2001. So I want to thank Carol and my Kelly and Leslie for the first half of the segment for helping to get us alerted to Heart Walk 2001 and learning about healthy heart habits. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for future Delta Impact programs. Bye-bye.